Hello, my infinite being doppelgangers around the world, and children of all ages, and cats and dogs, and uh, Ayurvedic shamans. Okay, so as I've told you many other talks, access consciousness is simply teaching the final teachings of Buddhism, which is contained in the Lotus Sutra, and then the final sutra right after the Lotus Sutra is actually the Nirvana Sutra, which just basically is reiterating that the Lotus Sutra is the final teachings of Buddhism and predicting that the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, otherwise known as Siddhartha or Gautama, is passing into the next realm of existence, which is non-existence, which is the same non-duality that exists. So in access consciousness, we're always talking about um, what generative energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be, and my being be, and my music be for me, my whatever else you want to be, that would allow me to be out of control, out of form, out of structure, out of significance, out of linearity, out of concentricity, out of definition, out of limitation for all eternity. Anything that wouldn't allow that times a Buddha-zillion, I destroy and uncreate it all. They say Godzillion, but I say Buddha-zillion because Buddha is the teacher of gods and men, so it's who you truly be as an infinite being. It's not a god, which is a creation of some lower sentient beings who had to create something outside of themselves as a superior source to negate their own superior source that is them, that is you, that is me, that is I be, that you be. Okay, so what this means to be out of form, out of structure, out of significance, out of linearity, out of concentricity, out of definition, out of, I think I said that, out of control, is to be the 38 negations in the Nirvana Sutra. So I'll just read you a little section of this translation I just found today. This is coming from the Indian translation into English, I do believe. I'm not sure. I've read many different translations. So the 32 negations are written differently in each translation, but this is a long, more drawn-out version, so you can kind of understand what access consciousness is talking about, being out of control, out of form, out of definition, out of linearity, out of concentration, all that. It's basically what the Buddha said the body of the Buddha is, and the body of the Buddha is you, your true body, which the access consciousness calls your Bekamex, which is your light body, your spiritual bodies, your physical body, all Honoze sonoze show, your appearance, your nature, your entity is the Bekamex, the concentricity, out of form, out of concentricity, the amalgamation of the threefold world that the Buddhism talks about, that the historical Buddha talks about in the final teachings, the threefold world. It's neither form, neither structure, neither significance. Okay, no, it's neither appearance, it's neither nature, or neither entity. The entity is like both yin and yang coming together in a temporary manifestation or temporary actualization, which it's neither any of those things because it's out of control, it's out of form, out of structure, out of significance. So this is what it says in the Nirvana Sutra. Then World Honored One said to Kashyapa, they called him World Honored One, which means tathagata or tathagata. I've heard it pronounced many different ways, but anyway, World Honored One, or the one who has come from. He has, what is it called? The thus come one. The thus come one is the tathagata. Thus come from the other reality, or thus gone from this reality, because he's neither coming or going. So he's neither gone or neither coming. He's thus come and thus gone, the tathagata. So that is you and me, the eternal being that we truly be from time without beginning, otherwise known as the Buddha of absolute freedom. Okay, so the body of the tathagata, the thus come one and the thus gone one, this body is one that is eternal. It's our Bekamex, or even beyond our Bekamex, because that's a definition, that's limitations. One that is indestructible and one that is adamantine. Okay, so not all of you guys remember the meaning of adamantine, so I'm just gonna, because this is, a lot of times they use these British words. We don't use adamantine as much in the American English language, so I'm going to look it up again because I looked it up before and I forgot what it meant. Okay, adamantine means utterly unyielding or firm in attitude or opinion, adamantine. Too hard to cut, break, or pierce. It's almost like we use the word now fascist, but it's a new definition of fascist. Fascist is the combination of political authority and monetary authority, the government and capitalist system working in one. That's what the true definition of adamantine or true definition of fascism. Utterly unyielding or firm in attitude or opinion. So much attached to your point of view, which the founder of Access Consciousness says is the definition of insanity on this planet. When you're so attached to your point of view that you will never give it up, no matter who proves to you that your point of view is completely meaningless. It's just all the significance and meaning that you put into all your definitions are all limitations to what is absolutely possible, which is beyond all causal reality, which the Buddha talks about is what it means to step into nirvana or into samsara, is to go beyond causal reality. Okay, so it's neither indestructible, neither adamantine. It's neither unchangeable. One that is not sustained by various kinds of foods. It is the Dharma body. Kashyapa, which is one of the top disciples of the historical Buddha, along with Ananda and Mahakashyapa and all the other. Anyway, Kashyapa said to the Buddha, "O world-honored one, we do not see such a body as you speak of." So this body is indestructible and is neither indestructible or neither adamantine. So it's beyond all duality. He says, "What we see is one which is not eternal, destructible, of dust." I'm going to read that again. What we see is one which is non-eternal, non-eternable, destructible, of dust, one sustained by various kinds of food. So when he looks at the world-honored one, otherwise known as Shakyamuni, the historical Buddha, who said we are all equal, in the Lotus Sutra, he says, "I made a vow to make all people equal to me with no distinctions," means there's no world-honored one and there's no less than world-honored one, because we're all oneness. We're all funi. So anyway, they say, well, I'm looking at you and you're destructible because you're going to pass away. That's why you're revealing this sutra, which is nirvana, which he says he's going into the other existence, which is non-existence, because he's leaving his body behind momentarily to transmigrate to whatever place he wants to transmigrate to, because he's an infinite being from time without beginning, like you are if you were willing to do it and willing to be it. Okay, so how in that you, the tathagata, which once again tathagata means the thus come one or the thus gone one outside of duality, are now about to enter nirvana. This is the Nirvana Sutra. He's predicting his death. Buddha said to Kashyapa, "Do not say that the body of the tathagata is not strong, can easily be broken, and is the same as that of common mortals. O good man, know that the body of the tathagata is as indestructible as that which stands for countless billions of kalpas." Okay, a kalpa is, depends on what planet you're on. It's the kalpa of continuance, the kalpa of formation, where the planet forms into a solid, and the kalpa of continuance, when it just kind of like settles. The kalpa of decline, which some people think we're in now, global warming and all this, is the kalpa of decline, but I don't. There's kalpas within kalpas, because it's like the oneness of the 10 worlds. It's kind of like there's always destruction within creation, within formation, because it's all consciousness, and consciousness is the creative entity that is the tathagata, which he's really talking about. It's not his physical body that they think is his body. Okay. O good man, know that the body of the tathagata is as indestructible as that which stands for countless kalpas. So these kalpas they can be think of as an eon. How long has this planet been in formation, or how long has this planet been in continuance, or how long has this planet been in decline, or how long has this planet been in destruction And how long has it been in regeneration once it goes into a state of nirvana and comes back to a state of existence in the future incarnation of the planet? So this is a kolpa. So he says, my body, my true body, not this body you see right here, but the body of the Buddha, which is you, which is your consciousness, which is your indestructible essence, otherwise known as myo-ho, ren-ge, which is the title of Lotus Sutra. It is neither the body of man or heaven, nor one that fears, which is why Daisaku Ikeda says faith is to fear nothing, to stand unswayed, the power to surmount any obstacle. Faith is the source of all solutions, the mighty ship needed to cross the sea of sufferings. Because this body of the Buddha, that is you, and that is me, that is Nichiren, that is Daisaku Ikeda, and anyone else who's willing to fully claim on and acknowledge it, is indestructible, and there's no such thing as fear. It's a distractor implant, as Excess teaches. Not one sustained by various kind of foods. The body of the tathagata is one that is not a body and yet is a body. It's a disembodied entity and a non-disembodied entity. It is one not born and one that does not die. So, to be out of form, out of structure, out of significance, out of linearity, out of concentricity, out of bounds, out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, is to neither be born nor dying. You can never be born or dead, because it's a duality that doesn't exist within this infinite space of consciousness that you truly be. Okay, it is one that does not learn or practice. So this idea that you have to learn or practice and you have to go through stages to reach nirvana, or you have to go through stages to reach enlightenment, to be a Buddha, is completely null and void in the final teachings of Buddhism. It is you claiming on and acknowledging that you are this infinite being from time without beginning, that you are Bhajat Fach, which you won't learn about until the future existence of myself, or until you're willing to claim on and acknowledge that you are me and I am you, and we are all together, as the Beatles sang about in The Walrus. Okay. The body of the tathagata is one that is not a body and yet is a body. It is one not born and one that does not die. It is one that does not learn or practice, because it doesn't go through stages. It's instantly manifesting reality in the microsecond, called Shiki Shinfuni. No, that's called Sanjen Jintenko. No, I'm mixing up all the terms now. It's called, I just totally forgot. In 3,000 realms in a single moment of life. I just forgot the Chinese or Japanese translations of that, so just bear with me. It's going to come to me at the end of this talk. The body of the tathagata is one. Okay, we already just read that one. It is one innumerable and boundless, and one that does not leave any tracks behind. Okay, so if you're infinite space and infinite possibility, you cannot cause a carbon footprint on this planet. So everyone says, oh, I need to stop driving my car, I need to stop flying, I need to stop consuming beef, because beef is using water and water is using everything that's limited. That's the limited reality that this social construct called planet Earth, as an absolute non-entity, which is not what it is. It's a living organism that is constantly expanding, just like you're constantly expanding because you're watching my videos. Your consciousness is constantly expanding. Your consciousness is actualizing new original realities every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds, sometimes every 3 seconds. Okay, so it is one not born and one that does not die. We just read that. It is one that does not learn and practice. Okay, so there's no steps. There's no like, I'm going to get there someday. My future perfect self is going to be great, and I'm a piece of shit now because I can't claim, own, and acknowledge that my future perfect self is the pre-incarnation of who I am now. I am the pre-incarnation of my future perfect self, and I'm never going to be more future perfect than I am future perfectly now, because the future and the past is all a social construct, because time doesn't exist. Only thing that exists is this moment, and this moment contains 3,000 realms, as you can see in the looking glass. Okay, so once again, the body of the tathagata is one that is not a body and yet is a body. Okay, so it's disembodied and not disembodied. we're going to go on past that. It doesn't leave any tracks behind. It doesn't cause a carbon footprint, because for every reaction, it has an opposite reaction at the instant second. So every time you think you're creating a carbon footprint, you're causing consciousness to morph reality, the transmogrification of reality, into something beyond anything it could have ever been. So you're causing evolution to expand with your consciousness. So the carbon footprint null and voids itself. Okay. It knows not and has not form to represent it. So this is out of form, out of structure, out of significance. It is one, ultimately pure. It does not shake. It does not receive, nor does it do. It's not a human doing, it's a human being. Okay? It does not abide, does not make. It is tasteless and unmixed. So it's not a causal inculcation. It's unmixed. The purity of the true self, which is the infinite being from time without beginning, can't be ever defiled, because it is you who has always been you from the infinite past to the infinite future, and the infinite nowness that is you that will always be perfect, just as you are. There's no steps. That's why he says there's no I just read it, so I'm not going to go back and read it. You can go back and rewind it if you didn't remember what I said. Okay. It is and is. I be that I be, I am that I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man, whatever you want to be. In the Bible, I am the amness. Okay. It is as it and is, and Bill Clinton says it all depends on the definition of what is, because when he says the definition of what is, he's using is as both a noun, and he's using it as a verb. But he also says, I can also show you how to use it as an adjective, a pronoun, a modifier, whatever else you want to be, because you can twist language, because he's a corporate lawyer, into whatever he wants to morgrify it into, because that's what corporate lawyers do. Okay, so that shut down his case, because they knew he was going to go into defragmenting the Illuminati's control mechanisms over your brain by you not knowing the language that they speak in corporatocracy. Okay. Okay, where did we go? It is and is. Yes, it is. Hallelujah. Okay, and yet it is not something created. So, destruction and creation is the duality access consciousness plays with, but beyond the duality of construction and creation is the isness, the beingness of the being you truly be, which is what the 9 trannies and all the other advanced body classes and advanced wizard training teaches you to be, not to create and destroy, because it's beyond that. If you're just being, you are beyond that duality of construction or destruction. Okay, it is neither action nor fruition, i.e., it is beyond karma. So karma is causal reality that doesn't affect the true being when you're being. So if you're willing to step out of causal reality, you're willing to step out of all causal incarcerations, causal inculcations, all causal realities, all causal incarnations. I think I forgot one. Inculcation, incarnation. Oh, causal incongruities. This lovely, I think therefore I am, but why am I not thinking, and why am I not amming? Because I'm thinking and it's not working, because the frickin' Ouija board's not frickin' straight. Anyway, step out of that karma. There is no karma beyond this body, because the true being that you be doesn't have karma. Karma is teachings before the Lotus Sutra. And the Lotus Sutra says the true Buddha from time without beginning, or the Buddha of absolute freedom, which is you, lets go of the concept of karma, because he can't be defiled. So he can't have defiled karma if he can't be defiled, right? Okay, it is not one made, nor one that dies. It is no mind. It is one not countable, whose dimensions can be reckoned. It is the all-wonderful. The all-wonderful is myo-ho. The one eternal and one not presumable. Not presumable. Unpresumable. Dispresumable? Depresumable. Okay, it's not presumable. So I'm just going to help you guys. Presumable is not a word you probably use every day, so I'm going to just tell you. Origin of presumable. Capable of being taken for granted. Probable. So the probability of existence is basically the limitations of this reality that keeps you confined in concentricity and linearity and all the other ones that we're talking about getting rid of. So when you're improbable, when you're infinite possibility instead of probability, because probability is based on algorithmic causal reality that is pre-Lotus Sutra teachings, that you're stepping beyond when you're willing to be myo-ho ren-ge or the mystic law or the wondrous law of the lotus blossom that you truly be, to bloom from this muddy swamp into beautiful lotus blossoms. Anyway, so you become improbable, capable of being taken for granted. You cannot be taken for granted. Okay, so one not presumable. It is not consciousness and is apart from mind. Okay, this is where access consciousness will soon realize that even consciousness is a limitation within itself because it's defined as something. So I know that access consciousness is already going beyond that with the 9 trannies and with the 7 days and everything like that, but it's still stuck in causal reality somewhat because it still is not willing to be the 32 negations that is really what this is talking about. It is not consciousness and is apart from mind. Okay, so in the final teachings in the Lotus Sutra, it says in language that means Shikishin Funi, the oneness of mind and body, or the oneness of heart and mind. Heart Math Institute is proving this now too. But it isn't. That's still a duality that doesn't exist within beingness, which is the true. When you're fully being, you're willing to, you're creating the 9 trannies as just what you do because you're fully conscious. So that's what are fully aware, whatever you want to call it. And yet it does not depart from mind. So it is neither the mind, and it doesn't depart from the mind, and it's neither conscious or neither unconsciousness. It is a mind that is all equal. So all equal, he talks about this in the thing I just quoted from the Lotus Sutra. I made a vow to make all people equal to me with no distinctions. So when he says no distinctions, it means that all is equal. What does that mean? That means what access consciousness talks about all the time, which is that free from all judgment, all projection, all expectation. So all expectation, judgments, conclusions, computations, they're all about less than equal or more than equal or whatever. But if all is equal, which is Funi, the oneness of life and its environment is Esho Funi, the oneness of mind and body is Shikishin Funi, the oneness of mentor and disciple, or the Buddha and the Bodhisattva, the oneness of mentor and disciple, Shite Funi, is the same oneness that is all equal. So he says, I made a vow from the beginning to make all people equal with me, to all people equal to me with no distinctions. So that's what this is, all is equal. So I am he, as you are me, and we are all together, is what John Lennon said in I Am the Walrus. It is not and is, yet it is what is. And this is what the argument of a lawyer trying to get out of Monica Lewinsky fooling around. his wife was fooling around with women too, so his wife didn't really care much either. But anyway, so it is not and is, yet it is what is. Okay, everything that brings up times the Buddhism, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Yes. Okay, so what is an is and not a is? Is you is, or is you ain't my baby. That's what it is, basically. Okay, there is no going and no coming with it. So this body doesn't come, it doesn't go. And yet it goes and comes. It does not break up. It is one indestructible. It does not snap. It does not cease. It does not come out, nor does it die out. It is no master and yet a master. It is not one that exists, nor does it not exist. It wakes not, nor does it see. It is no letter. It is not no letter. So letter is basically, it is not definable. And it is undefinable, and it is also definable. So basically when he says out of definition, out of form, out of structure, out of significance, it's that all definition is limitation. So it is undefinable because it is no letter. Or definitions are words, and words are energies, but within a confines of a single word or a single sentence is a limitation within energetic existence. So it's always going to be, anytime you define something, there's always going to be a limitation. That's why we say we get out of all limitations, out of all definitions. Okay, so it's basically what this was preached about 800 years or 900 years before Jesus Christ was on the planet. If Jesus Christ was on the planet, or if he wasn't Julius Caesar. But anyway, that's a whole different other story. We'll go into that on another day. Okay. It is no... Where are we going? Okay. There is no quietness. No. Okay, so they call this the 32 negations, but there's really a lot more than 32 probably. I haven't lost track of count. But anyway, it sounds like a lot more than 32. That's why I call it the infinite negations. Okay, where the hell was I in this whole freaking... Okay, no letters, not no letters. It means it's undefinable. It is no place, and yet it is place. It is no abode, and yet it is an abode. It is not dark and not bright. There is no quietness, and yet there is quietness in it. It is non-possession, non-receiving, and non-giving. It is pure and untainted. It is no quarreling and is never fighting. It is what is living and is not what is living. It is no talking and no falling. It is no thing and is not no thing. It is no field of wheel, W-E-A-L, so I need to look up that word. No field of wheel. I read this once in another sutra, and I can't remember what exact meaning he means by this no wheel. W-E-A-L is well-being, prosperity, or happiness. Okay. So, it is no field of wheel. I guess the field of happiness. And it is not no field of wheel. It is non-ending and does not end. It is separating and is a total ending. It is void and is apart from void. Though not eternal, it is not the case that it dies out moment after moment. There is no defilement and muddying, contamination. So there can't be any karma because you have no defilement or no muddying. There is no letter, and it is apart from letters. He's going on again. I thought I read this part. It is no voice and no talking. It is no practicing and learning. It is no praising and no weighing. It is not one and is not different. It has no form or characteristics. All is grand adornment. It is not brave and is not afraid. It is no quietness and is not quiet. It is heatless and is not hot. It cannot be seen. There is no form to represent it. No form, structure, or significant. No linearity, no concentricity, which is basically what Exodus is saying. The tathagata succurs all beings. Succurs. This word, I forget the meaning, so I'm going to look it up. Okay, succurs. Succurs is a noun. Help, relieve, and assist. S-U-C-C-O-R. So the tathagata, this body, this neither going, neither coming, which is, tathagata means thus come one and thus gone one, beyond all duality. The tathagata secures all beings, which means helps and relieves and assists all beings, because he becomes the energy of beingness that is an algorithm interrupt to all the bullshit that is everyone is doing in anti-consciousness. While not emancipating, he yet indeed emancipates beings. There being no emancipation, there is the awakening of beings. Okay, so emancipation is this idea of destroying your being and freeing yourself from being, which you can't do, which is called nirvana, which he's basically calling this the Nirvana Sutra when he's telling that the nirvana doesn't exist. And he said right before it in the Lotus Sutra that nirvana was preached for people who are weak-willed and can't really see beyond the forest from the trees. I can't remember the exact, but you got to go back and read my actual lecture on the Lotus Sutra to find out about that. Okay, because I'm not going to rehash this stuff I already rehashed a million times. Okay, where was I? While not emancipating, he yet indeed emancipates beings. There being no emancipation, there is the awakening of beings. There being no enlightening, he truly delivers sermons. There being not two, he is immeasurable and is incomparably equal. Okay, so there is not two because he is not neither you nor you are not neither him, because all is equal, because there's no distinctions. So anywhere you think that the Buddha is outside of you, or you think Shakyamuni is greater than you are, or your Gohonzon is greater than you are, or Nichiren is greater than you are, or Daisaku Ikeda is greater than you are, you don't understand the tathagata, which is the thus come and the thus gone one that you truly be from time without beginning, because you are not willing to claim on and acknowledge that you are the Buddha of absolute freedom. Okay, so there not being two, there's not a mentor and a disciple. It's oneness. That's why it's called Shitefuni, the oneness of mentor and disciple. So there is not two. He is immeasurable and is incomparably equal. Being as flat as space, there is no form to represent him. So we talk about being this infinite spaciousness in Access Consciousness, going out in all directions, go out millions of miles, go out zillions of miles, go out quantazillion miles to beyond the multiverse, beyond the universes, beyond all what David Bowie says. Fly it from the toppest tops of all the tops, that man must burst upon his brain. Satori must be something quite the same. Okay, there being not two. Okay, we just said that. He is incomparably equal. So you are him and he is you. And if you think you are not Shakyamuni, then you are not practicing his teachings. If you think you are not Nichiren Daishonin, then you are not practicing his teachings. If you think you are not Daisaku Ikeda, then you are not practicing the teachings of the final teachings, because you think you are separate and all there is oneness. He always practices the one vehicle, the oneness of all things. He sees the three of beings. He sees the three of beings, which is Honoze, Sonoze, Shonoze, Tai, which is the 10 factors of life, the first three, appearance, nature, and entity. He sees those because this is the threefold world. He sees this threefold reality, which is neither coming, neither going, because it's a state of in-betweenness. So he sees the three of beings and does not retrogress, does not change, and cuts off all the roots of illusion, which is karma. He does not fight or touch. He is non-nature and yet abides in nature. So this is the oneness of humanity and nature, or the what we say in Access Consciousness is relationship is the distance between two things, but the coming together as one, all together right now over me is called now I forget the word, it's coming to me. I just forgot the word. Anyway, it's not relationship, it's the opposite of relationship. And I'll think of it soon. If you haven't already thought about it now, you can just email me what I was thinking, because you guys are reading my mind. I can't put it in words because I'm out of form, out of structure, out of significance, out of definition, out of linearity, concentration. I'm just completely spaced, so all the definitions are slipping out of my mind. Okay, he does not fight. Okay, we got that part. He does not merge and does not disperse. He is not long and not short. He is not round and not square. He is no skanda. He's no skanda. Skanda. Skandha. I'm going to look that up and see if it comes up. Skanda. Also means sadhi. Sadhi and skanda is the same, according to this dictionary. So sadhi means morphophonic alternation, especially as determined by phonetic environment, as in dankcha for don't you. Origin. It comes from Sanskrit. Okay, that's what I thought. Sadhi. So a transmorphic being is morphophonemic alternation. So talk about transliteration. These are the 9 trannies that they're talking about in this whole fucking text, over and over, over and over, over and over. So he is no skanda, sphere or realm, and yet he is the skandha, sphere and realm. He is not increasing and is not a lessening. He is no victor and yet is one not vanquished. The body of the tathagata is perfect in such innumerable virtues. There is none that he knows, none not known. There is none that is seen, and none that is not seen. It is not that there is any creating, and not that there is no creating. It is non-world and is not non-world. He does not do and is not non-doing. So he's not a human doing. He's not a human being. Well, he is a human being because he's not doing, and he's not doing because he's beyond that. He's being. Okay. He is none to depend upon and is not none to depend upon. He is not the 4 great elements, nor is he not the 4 great elements. He is no cause and is not no cause. He is not being and is not not being. So this is the causal reality that he is transcended, or transmogrified, or transactualized, okay, so the definitions, if you get out of all definitions, you can be fully transliterate, because all definitions in words are limitations, so you can start just feeling the energy of others' thoughts and send pictures back and forth like dolphins do. Okay. Okay. It is not that there is any creating and not that there is no creating. It is non-world and is not non-world. So it's otherworldly, in other words. He does not do and is not non-doing. He's a human being, not a human doing. He is none to depend on. I'm reading the same things over because I think that we need to rehash this a few times. And is not none. Okay. He is none to depend upon and is not none to depend upon. So you can depend on him or you can't depend on him because he is you. So if you can depend on yourself, then you can depend on him. But if you're looking for him outside of you, then you can't depend on him. That's why he's saying he's not dependable. Because you thought you put him on a pedestal, he's above you. You thought he was something better than you, then you can't depend on him. The only time you can depend on him was you know that he is you, and that's when he's dependable, because he is you and you are him. So the only way you can really have free will in this reality is when you're willing to grant it to yourself. If you're being granted free will by someone above you or some superior source, it is not free will, because that's a total illusion. It's a creation of your own ill-conceived notion of your non-existence. Okay. He is not the four great elements, nor is he not the four great elements. It says this again. He is no cause and is not no cause. He is no being and is not no being. He is no Sramana, no Brahmin. So the word Brahmin originally meant white, because the Brahmins were actually a white caste within India who was ruling everybody by saying they were better than everybody, because they darker skinned people were the untouchables, and the less dark you are, the more closer you get to being a Brahmin. And if you're really light, then you're a Brahmin. That's what Brahmin means. It means white. Shramala, so he's not white, and he's not Shramana. So let me just tell you what Shramana is again. Comes from Sanskrit again. No, not semen. Do you want semen? No, I don't want semen. I'll get semen later when I masturbate. Okay. Anyway, he's not Shramala. I'll look that up another time. Shramana. I know I have that down deep in what I was going to say to you before, but I forgot that too. Because I'm totally getting out of form, out of structure, out of significance. If you're not thinking, you're not stinking. If you're thinking, you're stinking. He is the lion, the great lion. That's why the Soka University is the lions. He is nobody and not nobody. So he's out of all this people defining you as, oh, you're somebody. Oh, no, you're nobody. He's beyond all that duality of thinking, oh, I have a PhD, therefore you need to worship me because I'm a M deity. You're nothing if you think you're freaking scrolls on the wall are you. And that's a piece of paper. I got 2 scrolls there, but they're absolutely meaningless because I have no significance or meaning in them, because I am meaningless too, because I am outside of causal reality in the formlessness of this, what he's talking about right here. Okay. Other than the oneness of Dharma, no counting is possible. At the time of the peri-nirvana, this is where you think you're going into nirvana, but it's just a expedient means, because you're never going to extinguish your being, because your being is your beingness, and it's always its non-existence and existence at the same time. He does not enter peri-nirvana. The Dharma body of the tathagata is perfect in all such innumerable wonderful virtues. O Kashyapa, only the tathagata knows all such phases, aspects, modalities of existence. All this is beyond what Shravakas and Patrika Bhuttas can know. So all the people that are saying they're sages and I'm holy ones, I'm so great and everything, he's saying it's beyond all of them, because they're not willing to realize that they are you and you are them. They are trying to put themselves on a pedestal and say, oh, I need to walk under a fucking umbrella and someone needs to fucking wave some fucking big olive branch at me because I'm fucking holier than thou. He's beyond all that shit, because he knows you are him and I am you and he is you. Okay. So we're almost done with this. So just hold your horses. The body of the tathagata is composed of all such virtues. It is not a body maintained or nourished by various foodstuffs. O Kashyapa, the virtues of the true body of the tathagata is such. How could it suffer from illness? So illness is just a total illusion. So if you have illness, it's because you're not willing to be who you truly be, because you're stuck in causal reality. the pain of illness and insecurity. So on my radio show, if you call in and people have pain, I always get rid of their pain really fast. If I don't get it down to 0, I get it down from a 10, sometimes down to a 3, or sometimes down to a 4, sometimes from a 6 down to a 2. But anyway, by the end of the call, they're willing to let go of it, some of it. Sometimes they're willing to let go of all of it if they're willing to let go of it. But that's up to them, because I'm only here to be the window into the infinite possibilities, not to force them to drink the water that I'm drinking because they're not willing to drink it. Okay, the virtue of the true body of the tathagata is such. How could it suffer from illness? Once again, O Kashyapa, the reason why the tathagata manifests illness and pain all comes from his desire to subdue beings. Once again, he's subduing you into causal reality as an expedient means to get you out of causal reality, because he says in order to get a drunk person out of drunkenness, you have to first drink with them. So he's telling you nirvana exists when it doesn't exist in the Nirvana Sutra, which he's saying, I'm leaving this world because you're not willing to yet be ready for this. And he says the fifth 500 years after I die, which is about 1200 and something, will be the time when finally someone will be ready to put this out into the world, because you guys are so fucking stupid. You guys don't understand what the fuck I'm saying, and you can't understand what I'm saying because your language isn't ready for it. But the people in the future will be able to remember the languages which was more advanced and the sciences that were more advanced than this adolescent science we now have that thinks fucking string theory, superstring theory, and fucking multidimensional bullshit is all there is. Okay. From now on, think exclusively of this signification. It's insignificant and insignificant. It's a signification. Never think of a body sustained by food. Also, tell all beings that the body of the tathagata is the Dharma body. Okay, we can go on and on about this, but that's enough to get you to finally know why I say that I don't need a certification to teach excess consciousness, because I'm teaching the final teachings of Buddhism, which I've been teaching for many, many millennia, and on many other planets throughout the galaxies and throughout the multiverse. And I've just come back to remember and to allow Dane here, Dr. Dane here, and my other mentor from another mother, Gary Douglas, to remind me, because Plato, teaching what Socrates taught, that all knowledge is remembrance. So I'm just remembering what I already knew before, because I've already been in the house of Hades, and I've already been millions and millions of beings on millions of lifetimes and millions of planets. So there's nothing that I can ever learn on this planet that I already didn't know before. So all you do when you tell me something that makes sense to me for a moment, it's actually just reminding me what I've already known, and I'm just remembering it. So I didn't learn anything from Access. I'm just remembering who I truly be, and I'm getting rid of all the false pretenses of beings of what this reality has told me I truly be, and all the other schools of Buddhism before the Lotus Sutra has told me I'm being, and all the fucking people that think they're practicing the Lotus Sutra who don't yet know that they are Shakyamuni, and don't yet know they are Gautama, and don't yet know that they are the Tathagata. That's who you be, and that's who I be, if you're willing to go with me on this journey. So I love you all. Peace out. That's the 32 negations, otherwise known as being out of form, out of structure, out of significance, and being the infinite space and consciousness, light and miracle that is ease, joy, and glory beyond your wildest imagination. Okay, peace out.